Okay, have you ever had one of those moments where you said, screw it, I'ma just book the flight? That was me. I remember it was 2012 on a Wednesday. I was sitting at my computer at work after hours because I was so indecisive about what I wanted to do. My hand was hovering over the purchase button. I was looking at these astronomical prices that felt astronomical to me because I had never paid that much for a flight by then. And I mean, some of those prices I thought were in a different currency. They weren't. Uh, but I eventually said yes to myself and this pull, this nudge to take this trip. And so I was terrified. I was excited, and I was not fully prepared for how much this trip would actually change my life. So, I was fresh off a breakup. I was exhausted for working for someone that was very challenging. And, I had two options: wait for the perfect travel companion, who knows when that would come, or go, alone. And so 2.5 weeks later, there I was landing in the Philippines. This would be my first solo trip and international destination. So I had my camera, my D90, Nikon D90, a 35 fix and a 50 fix, a heart wide open, eyes bright eyed, and absolutely no clue what I was doing or what I was going to do. I had no plans. But, here's the thing: when you travel solo, which I learned very quickly, you have to talk to people. You have to, make friends out of strangers, trust your instincts, judge quickly, let curiosity lead the way. I actually remember the first place I went to. It was a surf town. I think it was called Vinales, but I have to go back and check. And it was my first time staying in a hostel. I didn't know how I felt about it, but I was really trying to budget. And I was standing next to another woman, another girl, and at our lockers. And I remember having this conversation with myself, like, what are you going to do by yourself? I looked down and I saw her shoes, or I saw something, and I remember just complimenting her on something. It was such a quick thing. And she automatically started talking to me, asking me what all the questions. And I come to find out she was there with her friends and they were going on a boat tour and they invited me. That quick decision to find a way to start a conversation with someone turned into how I would move about talking to people and, bringing up random conversations with people for the rest of that 2-week trip. Learned how to strike up a conversation with anyone, read the room, and how to, move through the world or, the streets of the Philippines with confidence and curiosity. So, looking back, looking back at the photos of that trip, I laughed because I was really still trying to figure out what my style was. I was still learning the technical aspects of my camera. But what I did know really quickly was that traveling, meeting people, learning people's stories, capturing the world through my lens, I realized that you can find something interesting in every corner. And I have to remind myself that now. How the light is hitting some Coca-Cola bottles, the woman in the candy stand, the kids riding the bike, the little kitten, walking down the street. That was the moment that I knew that if I was going to pursue photography, that it had to be that. It had to incorporate travel. Everything about it. It encompassed everything: people, environment, moments, feeling, right? And that's when I fell in love with travel and travel photography. So fast forward, now I've, gone from walking the streets alone for the first time in the Philippines with my camera to building 30-foot portrait installation or photography installations in the desert. Like, who would have known that decision would be a huge part of what leaded me to doing something massive and impactful many years later. So now anytime I feel stuck and uninspired, I ask myself, like, have you traveled lately? Specifically, have you gone on a solo travel? Because that's what I've found the most beneficial is I learn the most about myself when I travel. So, now I think, inspiration doesn't always just show up. And I have to say that to myself today because I've honestly had a hard time getting myself inspired. Sometimes you have to chase it. And sometimes that means booking the flight, or it means leaving the house when you really, really don't want to, or doing something alone when all your friends say no, they're not available, or you just don't have someone to go with. Having the awkward conversations, stepping into the unknown has always catapulted me forward, always. So, because the best things just happen when you just jump and do it anyways. Hit the button, go outside, do the thing. I'm not kidding you. It is the scariest. And I can't tell you how scared I was when I finally realized I was going to another country. Felt like so many moons away. And I was just going to be traveling around by myself, And so if you're looking for the sign to do the thing, then I think this is it. Do it. So I love talking about travel, and I'm so grateful to that trip because I have so many stories from it, and I became a solo traveler after that. It was a must. If I'm going with friends, then I always start or end it with time alone. And it's been probably the most expansive educational schooling I could ever purchase. And every year, no matter what, you learn more because you expand, you grow, and so the lessons change. So like I said, this is your sign, and thank you.